They said courage runs in the family. But when Evan stepped into the ring for the first time, he froze. The roar of the crowd turned into a distant hum. The punches came faster, sharper than he ever imagined. And within a minute, he was on the canvas, staring up at the blinding lights. That night, lying in his bed, the weight of his failure pressed down on him. He looked at his father's old boxing medal, its shine mocking him, his own reflection distorted and weak. He decided then and there he would never fight again. The family legacy would end with him. The next few weeks were a blur of quiet despair. One evening, he found himself by a quiet lake at sunset, skipping stones across the water, each splash echoing the emptiness he felt inside. An old man with a kind, weathered face and a wooden cane sat nearby, watching him in silence. Finally, the man spoke, his voice raspy but gentle. "You've got fire in your eyes, son, but fear in your heart." Evan didn't even look at him, his voice barely a whisper. "I'm not like my father. He was brave. I'm not." The old man chuckled softly. "Brave? You think bravery means not feeling fear, my boy? Real courage isn't about not being scared. It is about standing up even when your knees are shaking so hard you think you'll fall over." He took a small ember from the pipe he was smoking and tossed it into the lake. It hissed and vanished in an instant. The old man smiled. "Fire dies when it's outside the heart. Keep yours burning inside." Evan turned to ask what he meant, but the old man was gone. He vanished like smoke, but his words lingered, echoing in the quiet air. Back in his room, surrounded by the ghosts of his ambition training videos paused on screen, his gloves collecting dust on a table, the old man's words replayed in his mind. "Keep your fire burning." Inside, his trembling hands, the same hands that had failed him in the ring, slowly clenched into fists, not with anger but with a new, fragile resolve. The fear never left, but this time he faced it differently. He didn't try to ignore it or push it away. He acknowledged it, and then he took a step. Every morning before sunrise, he trained. He wasn't training to fight others anymore. He was training to fight his own doubt. It was a silent war waged in the pre-dawn chill. A montage of his new life began, running in the pouring rain until his lungs burned, shadowboxing in his dimly lit room, his reflection his only opponent. He even started helping a younger kid at the gym, showing him the ropes, a faint, unfamiliar smile gracing his lips. Strength isn't built in your muscles, not really. It's built in the quiet moments of struggle, one small, defiant step at a time. The championship night arrived. Bright lights, a massive, roaring crowd. Evan's name was called. He walked towards the ring. A stark contrast to the powerhouse waiting for him. His opponent was bigger, stronger, and undefeated. Everyone in that arena thought the result was already written. Everyone, except Evan. As he stood in his corner, he whispered to himself, "A private vow, my father's courage isn't my inheritance, it's my choice." The bell rang. The fight began. Evan dodged, weaved, and took a hard hit that sent him stumbling. But he got back up. Again and again, he took punches, a trickle of blood forming on his lip. But this time, something was different. Through the pain, through the exhaustion, he smiled. For the first time, he wasn't fighting to win, he was fighting simply not to run away. He was present. He was alive in that ring, the final round. His body screamed in protest, but his mind was clear. Evan feinted left, drawing his opponent in, and landed one perfect, precise hit. The crowd, which had been a low murmur of anticipation, erupted into a deafening roar. One strike born not of brute power, but of pure, unwavering purpose changed everything. After the fight, in the quiet of the locker room, exhausted but serene, Evan held his father's medal. He hadn't won the championship belt, but he had won something far more valuable. A hand gently touched his shoulder. He looked up and his heart skipped a beat. It was the old man from the lake, smiling proudly. "You how?" Evan stammered, shocked. The old man's eyes twinkled. "I told you, courage lives inside. You just needed to set it free." As Evan blinked, trying to process it all, the old man began to fade, dissolving into a soft, golden light. And as the light receded, Evan saw it the same medal he was holding, glowing brightly on the fading figure's chest. Some say courage can't be taught or given, but sometimes it visits us when we need it most, wearing a familiar, loving face. A few months later, the gym was filled with the familiar sounds of training, but now it felt different, warmer. Evan was coaching the young kids, and he saw himself in one small boy, trembling before his first sparring match. Evan knelt down, just as the old man had metaphorically knelt for him, and handed the boy his gloves. "Listen," he said softly, "don't fight to prove you're strong. Fight to prove you won't give up. The real fire within us doesn't roar like a bonfire. It whispers like an ember that refuses to go out. It's not the loudest or the biggest or the strongest who truly win. It's the one who refuses to stop trying, the one who gets back up one more time than they fall. Because courage, it isn't in the ring or in a medal or in the cheers of a crowd. It's in your heart. Keep your fire burning." Thanks for watching, everyone. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe for more. We'll see you in the next one.